Well, the first time when I really knew like this was for me, like for me, I had a lot of moments, but I can always remember the very first moment when I thought like, yeah, I want to do this for the rest of my life type vibe. Like, you know, I was already serious about it at an early age, but I never forget this one time. And this time never evaporates from my mind and my memory space. There was a club in Florence, South Carolina, named Pegasus. It was ultimately it became the Hypnotic, is what, you know, the younger people know it as Hypnotic, but during this time it was called Pegasus. And one of my OGs, Truman, he had the sound system that was there. And he had another club. It was called Truman's, of course, and they were doing a talent show for us type vibe. And after the talent show, he had to unhook his music, his sound system, and go to the club. So he didn't care about that rap mess. This was during that time when it was that rap mess. So Truman was like, man, I don't want to do this rap mess. And we were the last act to go on. We almost didn't go on, but we begged Truman, we told him, we promised him this would be the one performance that he would love. And they had people singing Reasons and all kind of people doing all kind of little stuff. It was like good times, talent show type vibe. But it was at the Pegasus, on the big Pegasus stage, and it was the biggest stage till then. And so it took us about 20 minutes to set up because Mark had to hook up his equipment and we had to tie into the sound. And you know, I just remember Truman not liking it at all. I remember all the OGs just like, oh man, this rap mess. And during this time, I had Vic and Sam with me. I had found Vic and Sam at a talent show, and I had took them along with me now. So now we all together. It's me, Vic and Sam, and Mark. And it's like I have to pause because it's crazy. I could see it. I could just envision how it was so crazy because during this time, like it was during the dancing stage, like when Big Daddy Kane and Scoop and Scrap and all of them was the wheel. So we were trying to emulate the things that we saw. Even though we were in the South, we were trying to emulate the things that we saw from them. So Vic and Sam had kind of took on the persona of Scoop and Scrap. Me at the time, this is kind of like I'm not really in the street yet, but I'm connected to the street. So my money was funny a little bit. So my mom was helping me out a little bit with things. But at the same time, you know, she had bought my wife they had these African type suits. And they were like tie-dye, and it was like big pants, like the hammer pants, and the shirt was like a dashiki type. So I put the dashiki on, they wore the big hammer pants. I didn't know nothing about none of that. They was turning me on to all that style. But long story short, it took us a very long time to set up, and everybody was disdained at how long it was taking us to set up. I just remember that. And boy, that music came on. Vic and Sam started to dance. I started to rap. And early on, we had that professional feel in comparison to everybody else. Like other people did their thing, but when we got on the stage, man, we commanded it. It was like we've been doing this all our lives. It felt so good, man. I never forget, once we got that show going and Vic and Sam, they had this little move they used to do. They used to lock up in each other's arms and roll across the floor like a big ball. They used to do this, and every time they did that, we shut it down. So this was like one of the first times they did it. And man, when they did it, man, we shut it down. All the old heads was happy. Everybody was dapping us up. And I knew at that moment that I was gonna be doing this for the rest of my life, whether I was getting paid for it or just being able to do it. Unlike many other people, like I really enjoyed doing this. Like it's not like something for the bag for me. It never was. Hip hop has been the love of my life since the day I met her. Salute the 50 years of hip hop. I gotta get back to my coffee, man.